So as many of you know, my name is Aiden Hillegas. I am a student pilot working on my journey of becoming an airline pilot. That's my ultimate goal. And right now I'm prepping for my check ride for instrument. So that being said, I have my private pilot and I'm working towards my instrument. And I'm just going to go through a process of what it all took to get here, what all, like kind of like my journey to get here. And so we'll start off when I was younger. I loved planes. I loved when we go on trips. I loved just being in that plane. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I would get more excited for the plane ride than the trip we were going on, which very grateful to be able to go on those types of trips. But I always wanted the window seat. I was always someone that was always looking out the window, takeoff, landing. Wasn't someone that cared too much about the aisle seat. I wanted that window seat. So yeah, it's just always just fascinated me. I love the environment of being in an airport. To me, it was very joyful because when you get to an airport, I feel that everyone's excited because they're going somewhere. They're going to see a loved one. So like vibes are usually high at an airport. For the most part, vibes are usually high. And that just always like fascinated me. I loved that. I thought like how cool would it be to work in a place like that where vibes are always high, it seems. Yeah, and that's whenever I fast forwarded a few years. To be honest, my dad's an engineer, my mom works in finance, and I thought that one of those two paths were what I was going to do, either do finance or be an engineer. I always liked using my hands, so I thought engineer was more of the route because it's more of designing stuff. So fast forward into high school. We went to an air show my freshman or sophomore year of high school, and I fell in love with that. We saw the Blue Angels. I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. They were awesome. Blue Angels were sick. If you ever get a chance to go see them, highly, highly, highly recommend. But yeah, we wanted to go see that. I think it was somewhere in Maryland, and I loved it. And afterwards, I looked more into aviation. It kind of looked more into it, and didn't really think of it as a career because growing up I thought to be a pilot you had to have like this crazy health, be in extremely good shape, and like be super smart. And for me, math has not always been the best subject. I was always more of a science guy, which it's kind of weird if math wasn't my thing, why I decided to go into engineering to start out. So it's kind of a weird coincidence. But yeah, I always thought you had to have that. So aviation kind of went to the back of my head. Never really thought about pursuing it, even though I always thought that would be like a dream job to be a pilot. Anyways, fast forward into high school, and I went to that thing, and then I was starstruck by it. I talked to a recruiter about flying, just curious, just trying to pick his brain about it. And he kind of told me that like you don't have to be the smartest guy in the room, you don't have to be in the craziest shape. Now he was talking more on military flying, and that's a whole different ball game than what I'm on now. And so I thought that was like pretty neat. Well, fast forward a year or two to junior year. In junior year, I was like, man, flying would be really sick. So talked to my parents about this, and we had one of our family friends. This is the only guy we knew that ever flew, and he went to Air Force Academy, and then he now flies for American Airlines. So his route was a little different. So we talked to him, and kind of came up to the decision of I should probably get my 4-year degree, and then afterwards I would go into flight school. My thought was go to Penn State, then afterwards go to ATP and get all my ratings. So junior year, that's what it was, because junior year is huge on looking at your colleges or going on visits, like tours and stuff like that, to make sure you find your place. And I was trying to find my place for stuff, and I was shooting for engineering at the time, but also something that had a good finance business program, and just in case engineering didn't work out, because it's an extremely hard major. I personally was not cut out for it. So fast forward the next year, and I finally did my first intro flight. I did my first intro flight, I guess, January senior year, so that would have been 2023. Maybe it was February or March. I don't know the exact month, but it was in the winter time frame of senior year, which was 2023. I did this, and I fell in love instantly. And I knew that this was the career for me. This was the career that I want to do. If I got to fly, it's something I would do for free. I would fly for free, and if I can make money from flying, like, to me, there's no better thing in the world, because following a passion is so big to me, because I want to follow something that I would do for free, so that hopefully I don't get tired of the job ever, and I'm always excited to go into work. That's the goal. Work towards something that I'm passionate about. So that year, I was looking at some schools. I was looking at Appalachian State and Penn State to go. It was weird. I was going to go to Appalachian State for something in finance probably. Then Penn State, I was going to do engineering. Well, I got into both. I really liked Appalachian State, but so far, and it was more expensive than Penn State, so decided to go to Penn State for engineering, following the path of my dad, kind of. And during this time, I was still flying, but in those months after my intro flight, I was very, very inconsistent with it. I was flying like maybe once a month. So in a way, it was a waste of money. In a way, it also was not. Because if I wasn't flying those once a month, I might not have grown the passion I have for it now. I say to people now, those few months or stuff, yeah, I was throwing money away kind of by just going up and flying, but I also was splurging into something I've never done before, exploring a career field that I had never done before. No one really I know has done it, and the only person we know that have done it, that I personally know that has done it, went a military route, completely different route than the route I was shooting for. So I was kind of like dipping my feet in because I didn't know what I was getting into. So in a way, it wasn't a waste of money because I was able to dip my feet in without splurging a crazy amount of money and then deciding maybe it wasn't for me. So during that time, I was flying like once a month, whatever. And June of 2023, I went out to Penn State. I had to do summer session for Penn State for the engineering program. And during that time, I was taking flights once a month. Like I said, it was just to gauge interest kind of thing. And then after that, it got to the fall, and my mindset kind of shifted. Like, it kind of was like, if I know this isn't what I want to do with my career, why am I here at Penn State to go pursue engineering when I know afterwards I'm going to be pursuing something completely different, and that engineering degree is never going to be used. Also, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I could have done engineering. Engineering was extremely hard. Calculus and chemistry, I had econ, but calculus and chemistry were extremely hard for me. I don't have a math brain, so I struggled in that immensely. And to be honest, I don't know if I really could have done another, 6 semesters of math, which is much higher than calculus 1. But yeah, my mindset was, if I'm going to be putting all this time and effort into something that I'm never going to use, that doesn't make sense to me. I want to put all my time and effort into something that I know I'm going to want to pursue a career in, that I'm going to want to be doing the rest of my life, which was flying. So fall freshman year, I decided to put applications into, I put it into North Dakota, and I put it into Western Michigan. Western Michigan, from my understanding, this could be wrong. If you go to Western Michigan, correct me. But they said that they didn't have enough flight instructors and enough of a fleet to be able to promise that you're going to fly freshman year. So that kind of steered me away from there. In North Dakota, I was doing lots of research. Everyone says it's a very renowned program, one of the better ones in the country. So that's what drew me there. And I knew they had a huge fleet. They said I would be able to fly freshman year. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what they told me. And yeah, so I was all in North Dakota. I won't lie. And then as time went on, I decided to accept that application. So I was fully committed to North Dakota freshman year in about November timeframe. So my plan was, in that November timeframe, was to take the spring off and just maybe work, but just take that time off and then attack North Dakota that summer or that spring. And time went on, and I guess I talked to North Dakota some more, and it got pretty expensive, where I was getting a little anxious on how I was going to be able to pay for that. And that got me to the point where I was exploring other options. So one day in the winter, my dad was actually reading the newspaper at my grandpa's, and he sent me a picture of this flight school out towards Pittsburgh called Laurel Highlands Aeronautical Academy, which is connected to St. Vincent College. And he said, let's just go check this out one weekend. We'll take you out, just go to give it a tour, to give it a chance. So I went out there, and let me remind you, me and my parents have no idea really what we're getting into with aviation. So we're trying to just do this all based off what we can find online, research and stuff, because we don't have anyone in the industry that we were able to really talk to. We had this pilot that went the military route and then ended up at an airline, so it was completely different ball game than what I was trying to do. Because I didn't want to go into the military. Like I said, I don't know if I would be cut out for it or not, but I just wanted to go the civilian route. And that's where I found this school, and we gave it a tour, and kind of was like, my impression was that I'll be able to fly a lot. They have enough instructors, they have enough planes, and the class size was small. So I wouldn't be competing for airtime with so many students. We're at North Dakota, there's so many guys there, and guys and girls there, and you're going to be competing for flight time. I don't know how it all works out. Like I said, I ended up at this school, so I never went to North Dakota. So I hear it's a great program, but I just decided this one because of the amount of flight time I was going to be able to get, and that was huge for me. Flight time was huge for me because during the research I was finding, it always said time is everything in aviation. The time you can get in, the higher seniority you'll get faster, kind of thing. So that was crucial to me. So I knew time is important. So that's why I decided to go here, because I felt that I might be able to finish faster than I would at North Dakota. And because I was already behind the 8 ball a little bit, because I wasted a year I don't want to say waste, because I met some great people at Penn State, but I wasted a year of flying when I went to Penn State, where I could have been flying, and that just wasted a year of flying for me. And so I'm kind of in a catch-up game, because right now I'm getting my 4-year degree and I'm getting all my hours. So I'm just trying now this year, just trying to dial in on my flying. This past summer, I was here all summer, just continuing flying. I have my check ride coming up pretty soon, so I'm really anxious to get that over with. I won't lie. I'm excited to get it, take that test, but I'm also a little nervous. But I feel like I put a lot of preparation in. I've been out here, really all I'm focused on is flying, which I'm really happy about, that I'm able to put all 100% into that flying, which to me is important to me, because that's my passion. That's what I want to do with my life. And why would I put like a 50% into something that I'm hoping is going to be the rest of my life? I want to set the rest of my life up now. So that's where I'm at now, where if I did that 4 years at Penn State, who knows, maybe that passion would have went away. It would have just went under the covers, and I would have continued with engineering. And I'm sure it's a great career field. It's just, I want to be flying. That's like my whole passion. That's what I grew up wanting to do. That's been my dream since I've been 10 years old. I want to fly. I want to be in the air. I want to be a pilot. I want to get those wings. That's huge to me. And so I didn't want to waste that other 4 years working on engineering when I knew that aviation, being a pilot, is my calling, I feel. I'm really hoping it all works out, because I feel like I'm putting everything into this. I'm still getting a degree. It's in aviation management. So like I said, even that degree is aviation based. So really excited with what the future holds, but that's kind of my story and my path to where I've gotten here. So yeah, I hope you guys can enjoy this video, and yeah.